Welcome to Sonix TV1, where you are number one and our guests are stars amongst stars. I am Sonix, your host, and we have an incredible show lined up for you today. Last week, we had the pleasure of welcoming the legendary filmmaker, screenwriter, and producer, Brian the Synth Man Washington. If you missed episode 4, be sure to check it out. But first, later in the show, we have the award-winning vocalist and songwriter, Castella, joining us. She'll share her journey and exciting updates, plus we have some breaking news just for you. That's right here on Sonix TV1, your new home for entertainment. As a music producer, songwriter, musician, and composer, I had the incredible opportunity to collaborate with legends like David Bowie, Barry White, and Lauryn Hill, and work with iconic labels like Warner Brothers, Capitol, and Atlantic Records. Today, I invite you to join me on a journey through the heart of entertainment and technology. Let's dive into the stories and sounds that shape our world. Thank you for being here. Let's make some magic together. In 2021, I began my journey as a jazz artist, releasing singles like Easy Street, featuring Eric Marienthal from the legendary Chick Corea's Electric Band, along with Cloud 9 and No Ordinary Love, featuring Patrice Isley and John Sandoval. The following year, I launched 2 albums, Love Crusade and No Ordinary Love, the maxi single. In 2023, I released the single Victory. And just recently, on August 18, 2024, I unveiled Broadway Sax Mix, featuring the talented saxophonist William Prince. Both tracks are part of my upcoming LP, Love Crusade 2.0, set to drop in 2025. We're excited to share the music video, Broadway Mix, directed by our recent guest, Brian the Synth Man Washington, so stay tuned. First up, we have Easy Street by yours truly, and we're so grateful that you joined us today. So Easy Street was my first single, so here it is, Easy Street, featuring Eric Marienthal. Keep it locked right here. that was Easy Street, featuring Eric Marienthal. We have Walter Jones on bass. We have Johnny Johnson, J2 Johnson on guitar. We have John J.R. Robinson, who will be with us, the most recorded drummer in history. He'll be joining us in October. So stay tuned. We have a whole lot in store for you. Just recently, we just released the single Broadway, the sax mix, on August 16th, 2024. We recorded a video in New York City with my cousin Brian the Synth Man Washington, music and video director, and he shared his talents with us, so we're going to premiere that video with you today. So stay tuned and keep it locked right here on Sonix TV1, your new home for entertainment.
This is a world premiere.
That was Broadway Sax Mix featuring William Prince, saxophone virtuoso out of Connecticut. On saxophone, Johnny Johnson on guitar, and the rest of the instruments are myself. So we thank you for tuning in today. We thank you for sharing your time with me. So today, if you like what you see, you like what you hear, please subscribe and like the channel. Hit the buttons down below, and also we have descriptions down below. So subscribe and like the channel. Thank you so much for being with us. Joining us after this short intro, we have the one and only Castella joining us. That's right here on Sonix TV1, we have the one and only Castella joining us. So right after this, she'll be with us. So stay tuned and keep it locked right here. Award-winning vocalist Castella burst onto the music scene in April 2020 with her captivating debut single, No Ordinary Love. Hailing from Long Beach, California, she has been singing her heart out as long as she can remember. Inspired by her mentor, multi-platinum producer Darryl Swann, Castella's journey into songwriting transformed a small project into the realization of her dreams, sharing her extraordinary gifts with the world. In July 2019, she released her first EP, Thinking About You, produced by Corey Stampley. The single No Ordinary Love quickly climbed the charts, peaking at 24 on the Smooth Jazz charts and earning her a Breakout Artist of 2020 nomination from Smooth Jazz Network. This recognition set the stage for her meteoric rise. Her work on Let Me Love You earned her nominations for prestigious awards, including President's Award and Best Female Artist of 2020, solidifying her status as a force to be reckoned with in the industry. Staying true to her roots, Castella revisited her debut EP to release Mojito, a track infused with her mentor's touch. On January 7, 2022, she released her second EP, Let Me Love You, along with the infectious single So Into You, a remake of the classic by the Atlanta Rhythm Section. The track quickly resonated with audiences, hitting #1 on the UK Soul Breakers chart and maintaining a strong presence on the Smooth Jazz Top 100. Castella's remarkable journey continued into 2023 with singles I Saw You and Intoxicated Love, the latter earning the title of Song of the Year on Black Planet Radio, Italy, and propelling her to win her first Indie Soul Award for Jazz Single of the Year. Castella is on a mission to inspire others to pursue their dreams. Her story is a testament to the belief that it's never too late to share your gifts with the world. The future is bright for Castella, and she's just getting started. Stay tuned for more incredible music from this extraordinary artist. Sonix TV1, welcome the one and only Castella. Sonix TV1, we have the one and only Castella with us. We thank you so much for joining us today. How you doing today?
Hello, I'm good. How are you?
We're doing great. We're so grateful to have you with us today.
Oh man, I'm excited to be here. Congratulations on your new platform, and I'm excited to be in that first 5 folks that you interviewed. So thanks for having me.
Oh, absolutely. We're grateful to have you. If you don't know, this is a good friend of mine, and she is so special. She's such a wonderful person, and we couldn't be more excited to have her on the show today.
Yeah, I'm excited to be here.
Well, everyone already knows I like to start at the beginning of the book.
Yes.
So we want to start at the beginning of your journey, at the beginning of the book that is Castella. So let's start at the beginning. Tell me about your upbringing and when did you first start to sing?
Oh man, my upbringing and the beginning. Okay, let's see. Well, like you, I grew up in church, and so that's where I, discovered singing, because of course they had choirs and stuff for each age group of people, and so I started when I was a little girl, and sang my first solo when I was a little girl, and just kind of stayed in church and sang the whole time, and later in life I started doing things like banquets and got into a singing group, a gospel singing group. Actually, it was pretty fun. We were pretty good actually, and we could have went pretty far, but I did that, and And then, then there was a little lull in life, and I started, family and everything. And then later, much later in life, this came. So it's kind of crazy, a crazy journey. But I would say my entire life, I've always been a singer. I've always sang, and people know me for, for my unique voice. It's different, and I've always just sang. Yeah.
Well, you have a wonderful, amazing instrument. If you haven't heard Castella, please make sure you listen and check her out. We're going to have some of her music shortly after we get a little bit more details of this illustrious career and this illustrious artist. We're just excited to have her today. So the age, maybe, what would you say the age you started really taking notice of the gift that you had singing in church?
Well, my church had a lot of good singers. So, I guess I would say that because I was able to get a solo during the concert, I guess I was, one of the people that they felt could sing, but I guess maybe when I was in college, I guess I kind of realized, that I had something. And because that's when I got into my first, we had a group at my church also that I was in. And then when I was in college, there was a group I got in because I was in this workshop choir that actually Maddie Moss Clark would come to, and kind of with it was a workshop choir where artists or different songwriters would present their songs to this choir, and we would learn their songs. It was really neat now that I think about it. And but she would come and kind of, I guess, come and produce those songs out at the end of it and whip them into shape, and we'd have a big concert at the end. But I think once this fella, his name is Nathan Young, I was kind of sitting back there singing, and he turned around and he said to me, "I want you in my group." And I'm like, "Oh, okay." It was kind of funny that he heard me, and I was in his group, and I think he challenged me to just sing. Some people do runs and stuff, and you try to think about that methodically in your brain, about, okay, I got to do this run this way, and he just told me, just do it, don't think about it, just do it. And
Right.
so I think a lot of the things I do, I try not to overthink. But that was, I think, when I really realized, like, oh, okay, someone outside of my church recognized that I can sing, and I think that might have been the moment. Yeah.
Okay, we're going to reframe your video for a second, so bear with us, everyone. So just bring the camera down just a hair. There we go, right there. Okay, we want a great view of you. So you sing in church primarily. Any singing in school or concerts outside of church, or primarily just church?
Just primarily church. I mean, I didn't do anything because, again, I didn't think much of it. It was just I just sang. I didn't think much of it, and so I didn't pursue it in school or anything like that. I wish I had. Now that I look back on it, I'm like, man, I should have got to the chorus or different things in high school. But I was a cheerleader, so our cheerleaders were very melodic. So I guess that was my opportunity to get on the microphone, because I had a big mouth. I mean, I have a very large voice. So my friends would always tell me, I know when you were on the microphone, so they can hear me all over the quad.
Do you remember any of your cheers?
Do I remember my cheers?
Any of your cheers? Do you remember any of those?
Yeah, I remember some of my yes.
Give us one of your cheers. Give us one of your cheers.
I'll take you back to one that was probably one of the most melodic cheers I think we had. This is when I was a little girl, not in high school, but it went like, it said, California oranges, Arizona cactus, yeah, yeah.
Hey, break it down now.
You play your team just for the practice, yeah, yeah.
See,
Winning with the spin, we believe in winning, yeah.
yeah, I dig it.
Time is running out, so get yourself together. Yeah.
Yeah, you getting a portion of how we are as off the script. We just go with things, and so you get a little taste of that.
That was an old cheer that I did when I was in Pop Warner. But if you
Mhm.
see that side, cheers were so melodic. You had almost had to sing to do the cheers, you know.
That cheer actually sounds like a song. Like you should actually put that to a song. Like I could hear a whole song out of that. Like I know, you know me. I always hear everything as a song. I can take one sentence or one word and okay, there goes a song. Let's make it a song. Well, speaking of songs, let's talk about your writing. You started writing at what age? When did you start writing?
Huh. I think I've always kind of been a writer, as far as, writing down my emotions and different things. And again, back to Nathan, I remember writing something and he was like, "Can I keep it?" And he kept it. I don't remember what it was, but it was something that he really thought was special. And so maybe that was kind of when I started doing some writing. But there's a song on my first EP that's called "Thinking About You." There's a song on there that I wrote many years ago. It was in dedication to a friend of mine, my best friend, who passed away many years ago now. But it was a song that I wrote that I would just, when I thought about her, that I would just sing it, and what no purpose of anything other than that was what helps me to get through, the loss. And when I'm thinking about her, I sing the song, still do. And so that was one of my early compositions. I even wrote another song that I do at some point plan to put together, but with all of the shootings and things that have been going on, I had recorded something. And this was way before I became, and this artist that I am. But I would just kind of sometimes just write things and you know, uh, and who knows what nothing I thought would ever come of it. And so I've been writing. I mean, I just always been a writer.
So is this part of like a journal? You journal ideas and thoughts, and then you turn them into songs. Is this your process? Kind of your process?
Well, my process of writing, in recent years, I just kind of, if I have a thought, I'll write it down. And my phone has so much stuff; it's so valuable to me now. If someone took it, I'd be devastated. Um, but if I have a thought, I'll just write it down. And if I have a melody, there's so many different melodies and different songs that are, partially done in my phone that it's just whenever the thoughts come to me. And if and then also if I'm feeling, some an overwhelming emotion, I'm able to, kind of tap into that and come up with something. So well, you're a creative, you know how it goes. You just never know when something's just gonna pop up, and it's like, oh, that sounds great. At least to me, anyway. I'm gonna record this and or jot down the thought. Funny thing, a few years ago, my church folks were like, hey, we need something to we need a song for, I guess, this in between time when we would kind of walk around and hug one another and everything, and then we would always have a hard time of figuring out what is that song going to be, and so they said, can you write something, because they found out that I was a songwriter, and I'm like, sure, I'll write something. And so I was at work, and suddenly I was at work in this meeting that was talking about retirement stuff and fiduciary things, and suddenly this song came to me, and I'm like, and the melody and everything, and I'm like, oh my goodness. So I'm in this meeting, I wrote down the lyrics, and I'm trying to keep that that melody in my head the whole meeting, so it wouldn't go away, because sometimes you'll get a melody and then it just goes, it's like whoop, there it went. And so I'm just, this whole time, this meeting, I'm like holding on to this melody, and I couldn't wait until the meeting was over. And as soon as it was over, I went outside and recorded the what I heard, and sent it to my friend, and he put some music to it, and we sent it to the pastor, and he was like, great, do it Sunday. And I was like, what? Do it Sunday? And and so that song, we did it that Sunday, and did it every Sunday up until the pandemic shut us down. But yeah, it was that. I guess I would say that is probably a song that was done the most that I've written. It's never been recorded or anything, but it was a great song. It was a welcome song. Yeah, yeah.
Well, we're gonna listen to one of your songs right now.
Okay.
We're gonna listen to "Let Me Love You,"
Oh yes, that's something I wrote. Yes.
and we'll talk about "Let Me Love You" when you come back. When we come back from listening.
Okay.
Here it is, Castella's "Let Me Love You," right here on Sonic TV1.
Just let me love you. Hey, when can I see you? You gonna come over tonight? Okay, all right. I'll see you then. Bye.
That was "Let Me Love You" by the one and only Castella.
Yay.
Wow, I love that song.
Thank you.
While we were on break, I'm just dancing along, vibing. It's one of them feel good songs that just get you, just keeps you right there. So tell me about this song. Tell me about this song. Who wrote it? Who produced it? Give me some of the backstory of this song.
Well, I wrote that one. I wrote it actually shortly after I finished my first EP. I cranked this one out. It was like just a whole song, and I had written to my producer that I had been working with, and and he was kind of like, you know, I think he was so tired of me because I had pushed him so hard. And another artist that I had met kind of mentioned that, hey, try this guy, and I said okay. And so I called Jeff Kennedy, and we hit it off, and I sent him the song, and that same day he had me a dummy track for that song. So I guess he felt the melody and everything, and you know, again, this was during the pandemic, and so you know, he was able to, you know, find a moment to go into the studio to do his part. Then I was able to find a moment to go do my part, and voila, we had a song. But no, but I wrote it. Jeff Kennedy produced it, and it was just you know, one of those a record that was kind of a it was my first record that had a live instrumentation on it, and just a kind of a different style for me, and it kind of opened some doors for me, some different doors into, I guess, the R&B world, if you will. It was my second single, and yeah, I did, and I released it on my birthday. So it was a gift to myself for the world. That's kind of how I kind of coined it, and but it got me a nomination, not a nomination, but it got me an award, an Artist of the Year award with CST, the CST show. Thank you. Yeah, it was the Artist of the Year. It was the funniest thing. I was looking, you know, reading where he said, yes, and congratulations to our Artist of the Year, Castella. And I'm reading it online. I'm like, let me read that again, you know, and sure enough, yeah, I got an award for that song, and it was just great. And that's my friend DJ CD with STL Smooth Jazz. Yeah, the CST show.
It's a wonderful song. Do you know who are the players on it? Who are the players? Okay. Do you know?
Let's see. I know on keyboards there is Demetrius Neighbors. On drums is Jeff Kennedy. On guitar, I believe. Oh, the guitar players are always the ones I don't remember. But I believe it's Robert Skinner on bass, and oh my goodness, the guitar player is escaping me. But yeah, that's who that is on that one. Yeah.
Well, on Sonix TV1, we like to get the backstory of all the musicians and all the participants as much as possible. Where'd you record it at?
Well, it was recorded in two places. I recorded at the in North Hollywood at why is this escaping me? Because I love going there. Oh my God.
No worries if you can't remember. It's just we try to dig a little bit deeper into the creations.
I don't know why it's
Don't worry. We'll move it right along. So your single before this last one, we'll get to that one. But I Saw You.
Yeah.
Another one of my favorites.
Thank you.
Castella has no idea what songs that I picked for the show, so I'm letting her know as we go.
You get to me. You're pretty like, you know, I got my stuff together. Like, where did I record my music? I don't know why that's escaping me right now, but you got me. You got my tongue, man.
No worries. I like to dig deeper into the creations because there's no liner notes anymore. So, you know, like, this information is kind of lost, so I want to always give credit to the people who participated in these amazing recordings. So I dig a little deeper on the show than most probably would even know. But it's my fault. I didn't
run and go get one of my CDs that actually does have liner notes, and it does have all the information. So if you do want to get one of my CDs, that information is in there. And yes.
Well, excellent.
Yeah.
So I Saw You is another one of my favorites.
Oh, thank you.
So did you write this one or?
Yes, I wrote that one with a producer, David P. Stevens. He actually wrote the track for me and sent it to me, and then I was able to write the melody and the lyric to the song. So it was a beautiful track, and it just kind of came to me, like the hook came to me, and everything. It's just a beautiful track. When you get a track, for example, I mean, you've given me a track to write to, and sometimes if you get a track from a producer, it'll come to you right away and easily, to write something to. In this case, that was one of those cases where it was easy to write the song to. Just content wise, I love writing about my journey, and how much music has impacted and just has loved me. Music has really shown me so much love. And I was gonna kind of write about that, but I'm like, nobody wants another song about you and your your twisted love affair with music.
Of
And
course they do. Of course we do. Yes, of course we do.
so I had to kind of, say, let me change that a little bit. And so instead of, the song being so much about music, it was, the love interest in the song is again is my music. But yeah, somebody might think it's someone else. But that's where
Well,
it came from. Again, my love affair with music, and how music really came to really be, I guess, a place of refuge for me when I kind of was in a place of losing my job and not knowing what I was going to do next. Had it not been for the music, I don't know what I would have done. I think I probably would have lost my mind a little bit. Having been a career person for so many years, and for the bottom to be pulled out from under you, I would say, God definitely set me up. He set me up with that whole year prior to my being, let go. I was working on a music, just developing this love and writing and everything. And then after I released it, boop, the bottom was pulled out from under me. But guess what I had in my hand, and something, to kind of hold me up, and that was the music. Yeah.
well, we're going to take a listen to "I Saw You." We'll circle back to two parts. We'll circle back to the creation that you and I worked on, and we'll
Yes.
share a little bit more about that a little later. But we're going to listen to "I Saw You," and we'll circle back.
Okay.
Here is "I Saw You" by the one and only Castella.
I used to walk with my head held down. I was down because my life had turned around. You saw my pain and became my friend. You were there for me, shared your big heart with me. Deep in your eyes, I could see the love, like the ocean blue. I think I love you, yeah. I never thought I'd be here before. With love so pure, couldn't ask for more. It's not a dream, I opened my eyes, I saw you. Innocently you came to me. No plans to mean so much to me. Deep in my heart I had the need for you to lift me up. Oh boy, you fill my cup. See, you came along and you lent a hand. You're more than my friend. See, you understand. I never thought I'd be here before. With love so pure, couldn't ask for more. It's not a dream, I opened my eyes, I saw you. You are my love.
If you just joined us, we're with the one and only Castella, and that is I Saw You. That was I Saw You.
Yes.
And did you write this one?
I did. I did write the lyrics and the melody.
Okay.
And again, the music was produced by David P. Stevens, and on saxophone was the amazing Marquel Jordan. And yeah, that was a great song that someone wrote just for me. That was a song that he composed with me in mind, and it turned out to be a beautiful record.
Absolutely wonderful recording. Who are some of the players on it?
You know what? I'm not even gonna. I don't remember.
Well,
I just know it was because it really was it wasn't like, he was like, oh, I'm gonna put this person on the bass, and I know who it if I go, get the single.
no worries, no worries. Let's circle back a little bit. Let's circle back a little bit. So we went from singing in church, as a little girl, and then now fast forward to, I believe it was 2021, you started recording your first album. Is this correct? 2022? A little bit back?
2018, 2019.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So
Yeah.
2019, 2018. Tell me about the segue from singing in church to now you decide you're going to record your first album or your first single.
It was interesting. I was doing all of it simultaneously. I was still singing in church a lot, actually, and sometimes I think, like I said, I think God was doing this big preparation thing for me. My first producer was in my church. He kind of just showed up one day, and I liked the way he played, and turns out he was a whole producer, and I didn't know, but I just wanted him to, put some chords to these songs that I had, or just one song I had, and he was able to produce it, and so that's how that happened. But so all the while I was producing the record, I was still very heavily involved in church. In fact, probably more than I ever had been before. We had started a praise team, and these two fellas that came to my church, because we had gotten a new pastor and everything, and the music department had been turned on its head, if you will, and they turned to me and said, can you take over? And I'm like, huh? Me? And so I became the director, became part of the praise team, and things I had not really done a whole lot of, but I guess I was all they had. And so these two guys really taught me a lot. It just really took me and just, not that singing in church is a performance or anything, but you do have to present what you have in such a way where you're really preparing the flock or the congregation for the pastor. So if honestly, if you have a dull kind of a pointless song service, then it's going to be really difficult for the pastor to do what he does. And so I was being prepared to do, I guess, to be in front of people, because church folks are the hardest audience in the world to sing in front of.
Well, my question is more so, you were singing in church, but what was the inspiration to record?
Oh, okay, all right.
More so record the album.
Gotcha. Okay, that question, I got you. I got an answer for that one. You kind of asked me about that. So yeah, church has never went anywhere. I've always been, church has always been there. So I'm never, my faith is not going anywhere because I'm, recording records. But I was recording, a friend of mine, Dr. Gabriel Crenshaw. He was recording a couple of songs and asked me to come and be a part of the session. And I was delighted and excited to be a part of this, and had no idea of how to record. So we were rehearsing and everything, and he was just so hard on me. And I was like, oh my God, this is going to be the worst thing. I'm so nervous. And so, when I went in, Darryl Swann was the producer, or the engineer and all that. And of course, he knows how to record records. So, you record in pieces. You don't just record all the way down, unless back in the day they did. But these days, you don't record all the way down. And so instant relief. And so, but I met Darryl Swann, and he kind of heard something special, and asked me if I ever thought about recording an EP. And of course, I said no, I had never thought about that. And so he said, okay, well, let's talk offline, after this is over. And so we had a conversation, and he asked me if I wrote lyrics and melodies, and I of course said I don't know, and so turns out I do, and that kind of started the whole thing with me talking to the organist in my church to put some chords to my melodies. And so it really was that, him asking me that question: do you write lyrics and melodies, and have you ever thought about producing or doing an EP? It's very easy, he said. It's very easy. Just record some songs, go take a picture and put it out. And he made it sound so easy, and he's really been holding my hand all these years. He still is my my advisor and my mentor and my friend, and really has really been instrumental in all of this. And so that was a transition. That conversation, that one little conversation with Darryl, had he not said anything to me like that, I never would have even thought about producing or doing an EP.
Well, thank you, Darryl Swann. It always takes someone to say you can do this, and sometimes it takes someone else to see something special in you. And I'm glad that he saw the diamond in the rough, and voila, here we are, Castella. And now you're off to the races, and you released your first EP. Tell me that transition. It was in the studio, and now it's bam, it's everywhere. It's on radio stations. It's all over the world. Tell me your first time actually hearing your music on the radio, and that whole transition from studio, not even thinking about recording an album, to now it's everywhere. It's all on the radio.
Wow, I wish it happened like that, but it didn't.
Okay.
I released it, and so it was like, okay, I had this big old launch party. It was so fun, and then it's like, okay, so Darryl's like, hey, you need to start going out and performing and doing some things, and I said, okay, you kind of reluctant, like, oh God, I don't know what to do, and so I started going to some open mics and stuff. But here's another catalyst and another person who's been instrumental in my journey. Some of my sorority sisters were at Spaghettini, and there was an artist there that they were singing. His name is Willie Bradley. And so I'm like, okay, he looks nice. So I just reached out to him and said, hey, do you think maybe I could open up for you? And he got back to me, and I'm like, oh no, I'm not ready to open up for nobody. And so I was like, I didn't expect a response. And so it was a sermon that my pastor gave one Sunday that inspired me to, follow up, and I have my follow through Thursdays now, where, you need to follow through with that phone call, and because something can change your life. And I would say that phone call to Willie that I finished definitely made a difference, because he told me some things, gave me some advice of things to do, told me to call Jason Goroff, who is my radio promoter. And there's a guy named Peter in Amsterdam. He told me to give him a call. And so I called all those people, and, Jason listened. I said, I don't know what this music is, but can you listen to it? And it's just what I did. And he's like, sure, really nice man. And I'm like, okay, sure. And he said, well, I'll give you a call back in a couple days and let you know what I think and so forth. And I said, okay, sure, thank you. And then he called me back the next day and said, oh, wow, I want to promote your song, No Ordinary Love. And I said, not the one you did, but one I wrote. But and so I was like, oh, wow, like, oh, I'm not sure what that means. But I said, okay, well, let me think about it. And so I, thought about it. And because, I had to spend some money. And I said, well, you know what the heck, let's go for it. And I called him back and said, sure, I want to do it. And he's like, great, I'm glad you did. And so that was how my music got out to radio. So that was in October. And No Ordinary Love went to radio in April of 2020. So that was when my first song went to radio. But Peter Van, I can't think of his last name, but in Amsterdam, he was the first person to play, to my knowledge, my music on the radio. He played my very January 1st of 2020. he played "You'll Come Back to Me" on his radio station in Amsterdam. It was amazing. It was like, oh my God, some music is on the radio. It was crazy. I think the more crazier moment though for me was seeing my music on a digital platform. You know, like I'm in my car and I look up and there's me. You know, I can find myself on on the digital platform. The mission had been accomplished. I did this. You know, it was really cool. But yeah, but hearing April of 2020 was when the music first went to radio, and that was pretty crazy. Alan Kepler was the first station to add me. And so at the end of the day there, that song garnered me a Breakout Artist of 2020 nomination with the Smooth Jazz Network. So it was crazy. It was wild. It's like, oh my goodness, wow. It was crazy.
So straight from church to the studio to radio and winning awards, and you're off to the races, just like that.
Just like that.
And now you're recognizable worldwide, and people embrace you everywhere. I've seen it with my own eyes. She is the whole community just loves Castella. If you don't know, Smooth Jazz just loves Castella. Everywhere she goes, it's just, okay, that's my friend, that's my friend, that's my friend, that's my friend.
One of my friends gave me a nickname, and he called me the darling of smooth jazz. I'm like, okay, I'll take it.
I think you should run with it.
Christian De Masoyas gave me that nickname. He said, you are the darling of smooth jazz. I'm like, okay, all right, I can dig it. I like that.
You should put that in all your write-ups. It's actually absolutely perfect. Absolutely perfect. So let's fast forward a little bit. You just recently came out with a new single, and we want to share that with our audience today. Nights Over Egypt.
Yeah.
Tell me what inspires you to do this remake.
Well, here's a current theme. It was Darryl Swann. He teaches at the Grammy Museum, and he said he was there one day, and the DJ put that song on, and I guess in his mind he said, she could do that. She could do that song. And called me up and said, I think somebody should redo this song. And I'm like, who? Me? And he said, yeah. So I'm like, okay, all right, I'll do it. And so, I called up Jeff, and he was like, okay, yeah. And then we enlisted, we talked about, having a feature on the song. And at the very end of the original, there's a little flute. And I'm like, we should bring out more of the flute in the song, And so we got a Reagan Whiteside to contribute. She said yes, thankfully. And so, yeah, that's how it all kind of came about. It was really, I'll be honest, a song I probably would not have thought of doing on my own, because it's such a beautiful composition and just such a beautiful song. It's like, well, I guess no one needs to touch that. But if Darryl just felt like it was one of those songs that maybe people have forgotten, you know what I mean? And so to kind of bring it back and give it some love and some respect and everything. So I said, okay, I'll do it. And so here we are. We got the record, and it's been doing really well.
Well, excellent. Well, I love what you did with it. And here it is on Sonix TV1. We're going to share it with you right now on Sonix TV1, your new home for entertainment. Keep it locked right here.
mind can't conceive. Nights over Egypt. Nights over Egypt. Nights over Egypt. Incense and myrrh and girls that swirl to the music. Nights over Egypt. Women Elohim wear veils to be seen by no one, no one, no one. Take a caravan across the Sudan, Sahara beside. It's just a mirage, oasis in the sand, where life once began under the moonlight. Your eyes won't believe what your mind can't conceive. Nights over Egypt. Nights over Egypt. Nights over Egypt. Incense and myrrh and girls that swirl to the music. Nights over Egypt.
And we're back. And that was Nights Over Egypt by Castella.
Yeah.
Excellent job here. I
you.
love the flute solo. So tell us the players, who's involved.
Okay, so on that flute solo, that was Reagan Whiteside. She's a #1 Billboard charting artist, and I'm so honored that she said yes to me and shared her gift with me. The song was produced by Jeff Kennedy. He arranged it and everything. So he's the guy, the master behind that vamp, which was sick. I'm like, oh, it's so cool. And then we have Robert Skinner was on bass, Demetrius Neighbors was on keys, and Kenny Rocket Morris was on guitar. And then some other players, Darryl Swann was my producer. He did recorded me and did the mixing and the mastering and all that good stuff to, make it sound all ooey and gooey. We also had a Steve Capp was in Detroit. He recorded the musicians, and Dennis Johnson was the engineer for Reagan Whiteside. So that is my whole team. And me, Castella, I was did the lead and background vocals. All those vocals were me. A whole bunch of different voices in there, but that was all me.
Well, excellent recording. And Reagan is killing that solo, man, on that
Yeah.
flute. Shout out to Reagan for killing. She crushed that solo. So
Oh, yeah.
you guys did an amazing job, and you sound so comfortable and cozy on it. We were talking about it during the break, and
Yeah.
I just enjoyed listening to it so much. Is there anything else you would want to share with everyone?
About that song?
Yes.
Oh no, it was just I was sharing with you that it was it took me a minute to finish the song. We had some hiccups here and there. It took took Jeff a little bit to get get his part done. I think because he was thinking, trying to figure out a new way to do the song versus just doing it just like it was originally arranged. And then once we got to the point where I was going to record, we had a session. I was hoping because I usually do a song in a session and I'm done. So when Darryl was like, "This might take 3 or 4 sessions," I'm like, got my calculator out. I'm like, "What?" you know, I'm like, "No, absolutely not. This is not going to take this many sessions." It took 3, but anyway, it took a few sessions. But it was, the first session we had was, was tough. We didn't use any of the vocal from that, but I think it was kind of okay. Let's figure out a path of what we're going to do with this song, and then also I was recording in a studio that I don't think I really was comfortable in. So I went back to this studio that I couldn't remember the name of, called Clear Lake Studios in North Hollywood, and I felt comfortable there. I mean, that's my spot. And I even got to record in the big room too. It took a minute, a lot of work. I didn't realize the song had so many layers, and until Darryl started peeling back the onion, and I'm doing all this singing and everything, and then finally, his idea was to have my vocals underneath, like the soft vocals, and then me kind of doing a lead on top of it, which is what we ended up doing, and with some ad libs and things like that. And so yeah, it was fun, and I think what our song is lower and slower. So the original, the girls were probably 18, so they had these really super duper high voices. I ain't 18, so I don't sing high like that. So we brought the song down a little bit and slowed it down a little bit because the other one was a little faster, so it was more of a groove, to our tune. And again, the arrangement is a little different, and but it definitely does have all of the elements of the original that make it special.
Oh, absolutely. You made it your own, and that's what matters. Like when you do a remake, everyone wants to try to go note for note for note, but at the end of the day, you got to make it. You got to make it your own. And when I produce, I try to make the suit fit the artist like it fits no one else. And I think that they did a wonderful job on this. So hats off.
There were a couple of things that I was trying to do just like the record, like the part where they do ooh, ooh. I think they do ooh, ooh, and I do a ooh. I did a little something in there, and I was like, "Oh no, Darryl, I messed that up." And he's like, "No, we're gonna leave that in there. I like that." And that was just, I was like, "Okay." And then lyrically there, I think I added an "and" in there, and I said, "Oh no, we got to take that "and" out of there." And he's like, "No, we're gonna leave it in there." So that just little things like that, where he, even with "Someone to You," I was trying to do a lot of the record like the original, and he's like, "No." And his thing was to me too with this record, why I was actually having some trouble with it, because I watched their episode of Unsong where they were just trying to be one with this record, and I'm like, well, that wasn't what they had in mind. And he was just kind of like, it was, I think that first session was more therapy, and how I can be the therapy. And he's like, what's the point of redoing a record and just doing it just like they did it?
Absolutely, you got to make it your own. So
like, what's the point of that?
Yeah.
And I said, yeah, what is the point of that? And so and so you have what you have, because I kind of tried to sing it my way, and but still show them respect to them, because they did an amazing job on it. And I had I guess an excellent example to follow and emulate, and those ladies were definitely an inspiration in my life growing up, listening to them sing and harmonize and stuff. So big ups to the Jones girls and Miss Shirley Jones, and and Mr. Dexter for their amazing composition that we took, and I had a good time with it, and I heard they like it, so I'm happy.
Absolutely wonderful recording. Well, speaking of, we have some breaking news right here on Sonic TV1. Castella and I have a song that we have recorded and wrote together that will be released in November.
No, really?
Yes, I know she's been asking and waiting patiently with me. But it's finally coming out. It's finally coming out in November, and you heard it first. You heard it first right here. And yes, she's gonna hold me to it because we both really love the song, and so I couldn't be more proud of the song that we came up with. So we're looking forward to releasing that in November. And as you can see by her face, she's like, "Come on with it, let's go, let's drop it, let's make this happen."
Whatever, but it's a beautiful song though. I mean, I had to kind of put it out of my mind because I'm just like, as soon as we finished it, I'm like, put it out, put it out. And he's more methodical than I am. I guess he's more of a thinker, and I'm like, just put it out. We finished it, and he's like, no. It's part of the plan, and all. I was like, God, just put us all out. So, but no, it's your song, and it's our song, but you're trained, so you get to control it. But if it was up to me, y'all would have heard the song a long time ago.
Don't worry, it's coming out. It's more so timing is everything when you are releasing music, so you want to make sure that things are aligned. And you just recently came out with Nights Over Egypt, which is an amazing song. So we don't want to be in the way of that. We want to be in support of that. So we want to be in concert with you. So it's coming. So stay tuned. You
pushing Nights Over Egypt for the next year, but we'll have another one in there to be supporting and pushing along. So it's great.
Well, the beautiful thing about that is that means we have to have you back on the show.
Oh, well, I can't wait for people to hear the song. I mean, it's such a beautiful, composition, and just, I would say probably the first time I've collaborated like that is with you. It's been the first time that, an idea's come and I didn't believe you. It's like, oh, okay, well, all right, you're serious, all right, we're gonna start writing the song, and to see it develop and actually turn into the song that it is. It's like, wow, okay. And then me writing us co-writing, and it was cool. It was a great experience. Yeah, I had a lot of fun.
Well, thank you. I had an amazing time working with you, and we are discussing and looking forward to working on some new songs together. So
you are amazingly talented. I mean, if you don't know about this guy, I had no idea. And I'm real finicky, I guess, about who I can record with, even though it's not been a whole lot of people, but it's like, I was kind of, afraid, but, just the way, your method of, like, okay, we're going to attack this part first, and making sure I got all the harmonies right. And it was just I'm like, okay, I can do this again. Well, it was a great experience. I mean, you don't get that with everybody in the vibe, and the encouragement and all of that stuff in the process. And it was great. It was great. I had such a great time.
I had a great time too, and I'm looking forward to it. Mm-hmm. So before we go, is there anything else you want to share with the audience before we go?
Let's see. God is good, if no one knows that.
Amen to that. Amen to that.
I'm just tremendously grateful and thankful for, all the opportunities I've been given to share the gift that he's given me, to have met so many people in my life in this journey of music, and how much it really has had an impact on my life. And I'm just grateful for all of it. And I just want to thank everyone for their support and encouragement, and the pushing, and the desire to hear what I have coming out. It's like, wow, people want to hear a record from me. Okay, cool. It's kind of crazy, but I'm happy about it. So anyway, thank you everyone for the amazing support, and hope to keep bringing more music to you.
One last question before we go. What's next for Castella? Any shows, any concerts coming up? Anything we can look forward to besides our song together in November?
Oh, yeah. I'm still like got my fingers crossed on that one. I'll see what happens. So anyway, November. I'm doing a little. I'm going to be singing the national anthem at the Long Beach Marathon at the crack of dawn. I'm kind of like, ooh, why did I sign up for that? Because it's going to be so early. um, let's see. I actually last night, well, not last night, but this weekend, I sang at Thornton Winery. I kind of made my debut there, which is cool. So hopefully they will call me back. I made my debut with Lamech, and Jeffrey Osborne was there. So Lamech opened for him, and he had me to, sing a song. And I was like, yeah, this is so cool. But as far as me, I don't really have anything lined up right now. But I am going to be planning probably my show for April. So we'll see. But hey, if you need me, anybody, I'm available. Call me.
Well, thank you so much for joining us right here on Sonix TV1. We're grateful to have you today. You can find out more about Castella at her website, castellamusic.com. That's castellamusic.com, and her handle is Castella Music on all social media. And you can find more about myself on my website, sonicmusic.net. SONIX music.net. You can read about my history, you can listen to my new music, and you can find my music in all digital platforms: iTunes, Apple Music, Spotify, Amazon. It's everywhere, so please check it out. I'd love to hear from you, so please show your support. We really appreciate that. And if you like what we've done today, and you like what you've heard, you like what you've seen, please subscribe and like the channel right down below. And also you can find the description, and you can find my website, email address. Please reach out to us. We'd love to hear from you. Next week, joining us, the one and only Mike Moore, the Motor City Madman, wrestler, WWF wrestler, WCW wrestler, USFL football player, SAG actor. Mike Moore will be joining us. That's right here on Sonix TV1. That's our show. Thank you everyone for joining us today on Sonix TV1, where you are number one and our guests are stars amongst stars. I greatly appreciate you spending your time with us today, and I hope you enjoyed the show. Be inspired, be uplifted, be entertained. I am your host, Sonix, and I'll see you next time right here on Sonix TV1. God bless.